Michael Collins and the Secrets of the Moon's Dark Side, Loneliness, Legend, and Lunar Mysteries. Prologue, Silence in the Void. I am alone now, truly alone, and absolutely isolated from any known life. I am it. These haunting words, written by Michael Collins, the third astronaut of a historic Apollo 11 mission, capture the profound solitude he experienced as he orbited the moon, completely cut off from Earth, surrounded by an alien landscape, and alone with his thoughts. While Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin descended to the lunar surface to make history, Collins remained in orbit, piloting the command module Columbia in perfect, disciplined silence. For nearly 48 minutes on each revolution, he passed behind the far side of the moon, entering a black void of total radio silence. No contact with NASA, no voices, just the cold hum of a spacecraft in the emptiness of space. To this day, Michael Collins remains the first human in history to witness the mysterious far side of the moon with his own eyes. And yet, his name is far less remembered. He has become known in history as the Forgotten Astronaut. But what did Michael Collins really see on the dark side of the moon? And why do so many believe he and others might have seen something more than rocks and craters? Chapter 1. Apollo 11, The Greatest Leap. When Apollo 11 launched on July 16, 1969, atop the towering Saturn V rocket, it carried with it the weight of a nation's ambition and the gaze of the entire planet. Amidst the Cold War tensions and the fierce space race with the Soviet Union, the moon was no longer just a celestial body, it was a symbol of triumph. As millions watched the mission unfold on television screens, the world heard Armstrong's iconic words as he stepped onto the moon. That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. The event was historic, awe-inspiring, and deeply symbolic. Yet, one of the most crucial members of that mission was not on the surface of the moon at all. Michael Collins stayed behind, orbiting alone in the command module, keeping the systems running, and ensuring the safe return of his fellow astronauts. Without his precision and calm under pressure, Apollo 11 could have ended in tragedy. Chapter 2. The Forgotten Astronaut. Though his role was essential, Michael Collins rarely received the same attention as Armstrong or Aldrin. The media focus was almost entirely on the men who walked on the moon. For decades, Collins' story remained in the shadows, his experience one of quiet endurance and silent heroism. But to space historians and pilots, his task was perhaps the most mentally grueling of all. As Columbia looped around the moon, Collins experienced nearly an hour of total isolation on each orbit, completely severed from all human contact. During that time, he became, arguably, the loneliest human being in history. He was farther from any other person than anyone had ever been. And it was during these moments that he viewed what no human had ever seen, the far side of the moon. Chapter 3. The Far Side of the Moon, Facts and Theories. Unlike the dark side of the moon, a misnomer often used in pop culture, the far side of the moon is not always dark. It receives sunlight just like the near side, but it never faces Earth due to the moon's synchronous rotation. What makes this area so intriguing is that it remained completely hidden from human view until the Soviet probe Luna 3 photographed it in 1959. But photographs can only show so much. When Michael Collins flew past this alien terrain, he described it as a rugged, crater-strewn land, silent and foreboding, yet strangely beautiful. However, in the years that followed, many began to speculate that Collins saw more than he was allowed to reveal. Some theorists point to cryptic or poetic lines in his memoir Carrying the Fire, interpreting them as veiled references to mysterious sightings or unexplained anomalies. Others claim Collins was bound by a strict NASA non-disclosure agreement, just like Armstrong and Aldrin, to never speak publicly about what they may have seen. Chapter 4. Rumors, UFOs, and Censorship. For decades, the far side of the moon has been the subject of intense conspiracy theories. Some claim it houses alien bases, ancient structures, or even massive crashed spacecrafts. Grainy photos circulate online, often showing oddly shaped shadows or geometric ridges that believers interpret as evidence of extraterrestrial presence. Official NASA imagery shows a barren, cratered terrain, much like the moon's near side. But UFO enthusiasts claim these images have been meticulously edited, censored by teams of engineers and image analysts before being released to the public. Whistleblowers have emerged over the years, alleging censored radio transmissions between astronauts and mission control, redacted mission logs, astronauts who were threatened or silenced if they spoke about what they saw. Buzz Aldrin's sister, in an alleged interview, hinted that her brother struggled under the weight of knowledge he was not permitted to share. Armstrong, too, is said to have expressed cryptic regrets and fears in private about dangers and threats after returning home. Was something encountered on the moon that the world was never told about? Chapter 5. The Weight of Silence. After the moon landing, the lives of the 3 astronauts took very different paths. Neil Armstrong withdrew from public life and became a quiet professor of aeronautical engineering. He never spoke much about the moon and was often somber when asked about it. Armstrong passed away in 2012, taking any secrets he might have held to the grave. Buzz Aldrin, in contrast, battled depression and alcoholism in the years following Apollo 11. Some believe his emotional struggles were connected to pressure from NASA or trauma from the mission itself. Aldrin, however, has never openly confirmed anything beyond the official narrative. Michael Collins, the most solitary figure of the 3, disappeared from public view for a time. He later served as director of the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum and quietly lived out his life, penning one of the most reflective astronaut memoirs in history. He died in April 2021, aged 90. In Carrying the Fire, Collins writes, "I know that I would be a liar or a fool if I said that I have the slightest idea what life is about. I don't." To many readers, that sentence says more about his profound experience on the far side of the moon than any conspiracy theory ever could. Chapter 6. The Legacy of the Unknown. Whether or not there is truth to the alien rumors, the story of Michael Collins remains one of quiet courage and stoic endurance. In a mission that captivated the globe, he stood alone literally and metaphorically, in the most remote place any human had ever been. He looked out at a lifeless world in silence. And perhaps he saw something we can't imagine. The moon will continue to hold its secrets, and until the day a new generation of astronauts sets foot on the far side, speculation will continue to swirl. But what is undeniable is that Michael Collins changed history, and changed what it means to be truly alone. Epilogue. What do you believe? Was Michael Collins truly the first silent witness to something extraordinary on the far side of the moon? Or are the legends merely the byproduct of our collective fascination with the unknown? Do NASA and global powers know more than they reveal? Or have we simply allowed imagination to fill in the lunar gaps?